Welcome back to another episode of Ham Radio Playground. In this episode, we're bringing back the Baofeng K5-Plus for some programming. Recently, we did a video where we reviewed the features of this radio. It's quite the upgrade from its previous versions. This is a tri-band radio, so it does the 1.2 meter, 2 meter, and 70 centimeter frequencies. In addition, you can receive the air bands and you can receive FM radio. And traditional fashions, it's got that fancy dancy little flashlight on it. For a $30 radio, got a lot of features packed into it. Great radio for throwing in a go bag, taking with you. You don't have to worry about dropping it. If it breaks, you're out $30. Great starter radio, great intermediate radio, all around. I may actually pick up a couple more of these. I have some of the UV5Rs, and I like the additional features that are in this one. So I may be adding a few more to my collection. You know, it's $30. Come on. Put them in various vehicles, various bags, and not have to worry about, did I remember to move it over to this bag for this trip, or in here, or in this vehicle, or this backpack. They're just there. What else are we going to need? We're going to need a programming cable. So you're looking for something that has USB and a Kenwood style. These are commonly found all over the place, Amazon, radio stores. You may already have one lying around if you've got other radios. Don't freak out. Don't get scared of this thing. They're very easy to use. So we've got a couple different antennas today. We've got a very, very long, well, long by standard compared to the little rubber duck that's on there, antenna that covers the tri-bands versus this just being the dual band antenna, the 2 meter, 70 centimeter. I took off the longer antenna just for the sake of the video so that I hadn't have to come back here all the time I wanted to show it. So, in addition, we're going to need a program called Chirp. And Chirp is a free tool that's available to program multiple different radios. And we'll get into the radios that Chirp supports here in a minute. But one of the things that's always surprised me in conversations that I've had with dinosaurs, you know, if you follow this channel, you know when we refer to a dinosaur, we're talking about those grouchy old people who are set in their ways in this hobby. You know, you may have one in your local club. That's okay. They do retain some knowledge that they can share with you, but got to remember, when they gripe about something, they don't always have all the facts. So in conversations I've had with especially one particular dinosaur, when I mentioned that I use Chirp for some of my radios, man, I could see the smoke pouring out of his head. You shouldn't use that software. You don't know what they're putting into it. You don't know what they're adding to it and getting onto your computer. And well, that's funny because Chirp, not only is it free, it's open source, which means you can see every single bit of what goes into it. Versus a closed source programming software tool that you might pay a hefty price for. You know, there's a bunch of different ones out there, and I have purchased some of them and enjoy not using them. They're great tools, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that, you know, for some of the radios, you necessarily need them. And there's things that Chirp doesn't support, which you're going to have to go get other tools for. And then there's specific programmers out there. Sometimes they get refer to as like code plugs and that type of stuff. For like DMR and other radios, that it's always best to kind of use those software. So like I have a radio from Radioddity, the DB25BD, 25D, I think it is. And that I always use the software that came with it, the code plugging, and being able to, you know, function with that. Which, let me see, is that on? It is. No, the G. So the DB25 is not on there. The DB25G is on Chirp's website. And I'll share that screen here with you in a second. So Chirp, back to Chirp. Chirp is free. It's open source. You can see exactly what it is. It's available for Windows machines, Mac OS, and Linux. So, you know, it covers a wide variety of computer types. And it is relatively easy once you get it installed and you use it a couple times. It becomes second nature because you're going to be doing the same basic stuff over and over in it. And we're going to get into that right now. So let me switch over my screens. All right, so we can get Chirp by going to chirpmyradio.com. And like I said, it's free to download. Literally, you come here, they tell you right there, it's free. And if you ever question if any of your other radios you can program using Chirp, it's sad. Here's the whole list of supported radios. Like I said, they can do quite a few. And it's not just like Chinese radios, the cheap radios. You'll find in here Kenwood, ICOM, Asus. So you got your Japanese radios that everybody, you know, swears top of the line and you know, can't beat performance. Those radios are in here as well. Not all of them, but you know, all right. So I have the 897. It's in there, which is funny because I've always used RT systems. Actually, I don't think I've used RT systems on my 897. I have the software for it. Sorry, I had to wet the whistle there. My ICOM 2730A, that I have used in RT systems to program and clone different frequencies that's in there. I may do another video where I try Chirp and see how that does on the 2738. I actually have two of them, so I can easily wipe one of them out and see what it takes. Interesting, the 7300 is in here. I wonder what kind of options it gives us for the 7300. So you're going to simply go down here to get it. If you don't already have it installed, you're going to choose which version software you want. So let's go ahead and click get it. You're going to want Chirp next. So you're going to click there, and it's going to go through and see what kind of computer you have and see how it highlighted in green. Windows installation, because I'm on Windows. You're going to download it. I've already have it downloaded, but you know, your Mac OS, it's right there. And then you have your Python 3 version for the Linux varieties of flavors that are out there. So what does it look like? Well, let's pop it over here. But before we do that, we're going to plug in our programming cable into the computer, not into the radio yet, because we need to look at our COM ports. So what you can do is you can come down here on Windows and you can go over, if you right click on the start button and go to Device Manager, it will load up a screen that looks like this. And what we want to pay attention to is the ports. So we can click this little arrow that'll drop down and show us what ports we have. So when I take the USB in and I plug it in, maybe, No. You will see now it refreshed, and now we see this COM port 3. Your cable may come with specific drivers that you have to load in order for the cable to work properly. And well, I may already have that driver on here. I've used this cable a gazillion times with this computer. So what we want to do next is we want to remember that that's on COM port 3. And again, if you already have it plugged in, you're not sure, you simply unplug it, watch which one drops off, plug it back in, see when it comes back. Then you know you need COM 3. So we're going to come into Chirp, and Chirp will start out minimized, very minimal. I just made it full screen. So now we want to come over to radio, and we're going to say download from radio, because we've got to tell it what radio we're on in order to open the initial configuration screens. So we're going to say download from radio, and look, it remembers, because I've connected to this before, what the COM port was. If yours is blank, you're just going to pull it down. You're going to select which one. So the vendor of the radio, which ours is a Baofeng. The model is the K5-Plus. Now, when I click the K5-Plus, it does come up and tell me it's an experimental driver. This driver is a beta version. Am I sure that I want to accept this risk? Sure I am. Again, it's a $30 radio. So we're going to say, okay, and then it's going to tell us what we need to do next. So say, turn off your radio, and our radio is off. Connect your interface cable. So we're going to open up our speaker and mic jack cover. We're going to take our cable, and now you're going to want to make sure that you are paying attention to which end is which. These will only fit into one of the holes. So one hole is bigger than the other, one end is bigger than the other. We're going to put them in. Now you want to make sure this gets seated in. You want to hear it click and give it another push into the side to make sure that it is firmly in there. Okay? Next, we want to turn on our radio. We're not going to hear anything because we've plugged that in, so the speaker, all the audio, is going to go out through that cable and into our computer. We won't hear that. And then it says our last step is to do the download of our radio data. To do that, we're going to simply click the OK button. And when we do this, we're going to see this start going. And on our radio, we will notice that the screen changes. It has a little icon. And we'll see our transmit receive light start flashing and blinking and going crazy. And once it was done, it turns off, goes back to normal, and as you can see, it downloaded anything that was already in the programming. So this is the default frequencies that come in the memory from the manufacturer. In addition to our memory channels, we can look at our settings. So you don't have to fight with the menu on here. You can plug it in here and you can kind of get your settings to where you want them. So let me see if I can zoom in on this any. Just trying to make it a little bit bigger for everybody to see. Give me a second here. Be about the max size I can get it, but it'll at least get you to see what we're doing and what we're looking at here versus trying to read it on a tiny, tiny screen. Or worse, you got it on your TV and then it's really, really small. All right, so again, we have our memories, we have settings, our squelch, our timeout, dual watch is on, the power on type shows the logo. You can have it, let's say text, you can have it so when you turn it on, it shows your call sign. Enable the voice prompts in English. The voice is, when you first turn it on, it'll say, welcome, and then tell you if it's in frequency mode or memory mode. You can auto lock the keys, you can have the beeps, you can turn on the Roger beep. Channel A display type, you can either have it be frequency or channel number or name. Right now we're going to leave the frequency. scan mode, side tone, sound alarm, a key lock. Work mode settings, repeater tails, Vox settings, disable FM radio. Well, you never know. You might be stranded somewhere and need to listen to it. That has happened to me. Not that we were stranded, but we did use it to listen to FM radio. Not this radio, but the UV5R. We were on a road trip about a year ago and broke down, and while we were waiting for AAA to show up, we kicked back. We had camping chairs with us. We kicked back in a parking lot of a gas station. A couple USB powered fans that had battery banks in them going. While we were in Georgia in summer heat, and we're able to tune up FM radio on a Baofeng and kind of chill while we waited for the tow truck. But yeah, so you never know when these things come in handy. They just happened to be in there because it was in a bag that we had packed that was traveling. So we got our work mode settings, our VFO-A, VFO-B, got some DTMF encoding. You probably won't have to mess much with that at all. Work mode settings. It's pretty interesting that it kind of locks it into the frequencies. But we're not going to worry about that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take all 21 of these, and I'm going to highlight them. So all I did is hold down the shift key, click the first one, click the last one. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say delete all 21. Oh, gone. Oh, so was my screen. That was me clicking out on the web page, not anything with the software. All right, so now if you know the frequencies you want to put in here, you can type them all in. You can put in all this code. Let's make this just a little bit longer to get everything in there. I'll shift it over a little. What Chirp can do for you is go out to some databases and look up this information. So you can come over here and you can say query source. If you have a radio reference account, it does require the paid account in order to be able to use this feature. You can download from Radio Reference and plug those right into your radio. Repeater book. There's a few other sites here, but I primarily just use those two. So let's go to Radio Reference. And then I'll put in my home zip code, 13212. Say OK. And it's pulling everything that's in my area. While that's doing that, I'm going to wet the whistle. A little iced tea. All right, so now we have a list. As you can see, put it on a separate tab. We're still over here on our Baofeng K5. Our query results is what we just pulled in. And as we scroll through, we can see different groups of frequency that came out of Radio Reference that I should be able to pick up in my local area. Water Authority, the zoo, different events, fire department. So we are going to scroll all the way down. We got school buses. We don't want to listen to any of that. It's got some ham repeaters already in here. And as you can see, it downloaded like a 10 meter, a 6 meter. This radio don't support that. So we are going to plug in. We got our airport stuff. I don't think there's much I'm going to do from here because I don't want to put any of them on this radio. I am getting ready to go to Hamvention next week, and I'm going to set up this and configure it for the talk-in repeaters for Hamvention. So Um, just looking through where I'm going to get my repeaters from locally to add in here right now is going to be, we're going to go back up here to radio. We're going to say query source. We'll go to repeater book. And here I'm going to say the United States. I want amateur service in the state of New York. I'm not going to give it my latitude and longitude. You can put that stuff in there, and then you can limit how far away you want to pull in the stuff. You can filter what type. I am going to limit the bands. I only want to see the 2 meter, 1.25, and 70 because that's all this radio supports. You could limit modes, which I'm going to do. I'm going to say only show me FM because this does not do any of the digital. I don't care about being limited to only repeaters. And let's say okay. And now it's going to go out to repeater book. And as you can see, it opened up another tab with our repeaters. So because we didn't give it any kind of filter for location, this is everything in New York State. It can be a royal pain to try and filter down through all of this. Because I'm in Syracuse. I'm not going to hear on this radio a repeater that's in Brooklyn. It's like 6 hours, 5 hours from me. But I do know that I don't want any of these. Because I'm programming this for connectivity out. We will put one in here. Let's put one in from this list, just so we can test it. That's the 10. There's just 2 meters. So we've got this one. It doesn't have. It's just split. It doesn't have anything. Let's do this one here. So what I'm going to do is highlight the row, and I'm going to say copy. Then I'm going to come back over here to our Baofeng K5-Plus, and I want this to be number 9, right? So I'm going to come in here, right-click, and say paste. And it just literally copied all that data over. I don't have to enter any of it. It's got the tone type, what the tone squelch will be, the offset frequency, power setting, and then the comment is it brought over the comment from the other part. So what I do need to do is I need to go back over here to this web browser, and let's go Invention 2025. I want talking. And I apologize that now the screen's going to be like crazy. Oh, they do have 1.25s. All right. So they got quite a few. Looks like some of the repeaters that are in the area. So I'm going to add this main talk-in one. So we need 46940. And we're going to put these side by side. So I'm going to do, actually I'm going to move this one, cut that, put that forward. I'll show you why here in a second. All right, so now I need in position 10, I'm going to do 146940. And I think I'm limited on what I can put in that box. Maybe it will take everything. Oh, as you can see, it cut off at ham vent. Select our tone type, which they didn't give us the tone type here. We're just gonna, and it's using 123. So as soon as I put T-Squelch, it automatically gives me a list to choose from in that box. As you can see, any offset is 600. So we're going to leave it, and I am going to paste in my comments that is the talking. So if I ever pull this up again, I can see what it is. All right, so that one's added. I am also going to add in the Dayton Columbus repeaters because I will be going right through that area. 145, 110. Again. Boom. And they are at 67. Offset of 6. Columbus. And I am going to do one more, which is 147, 165, not 8. And this one has, oh, look at that. It's got a positive 6 versus a negative 6. And as you can see, it automatically already changed my duplex to the positive. And it's a 123. Boom. So put that in there. So I got those 3. That's it. You don't have to do the math. You don't have to think about it. They gave us all the information we needed right there to plug in the repeaters for when we get out there. Now, since we do also support 1.25 and 70 centimeter, I'm going to add in a couple of those. So I'm going to add in just their main one. I won't be in the Beaver Creek side or Heber Heights. Knowing the area out there, I know where I'm staying. I know where I'm going to be traveling. I mean, I might be up in Heber Heights to go see a buddy of mine, but not so much for the days of the show. So I put those in starting at 10. So I'm going to come down here to 15, and we're going to go 223940. This is the array. They like the 123 out there. Negative offset. Comment is just Dayton Amateur Radio Association. I don't know. It's the group that's behind doing the invention. All right, and we are going to also add in there. I'm going to put that in 16. 44200. Now, I am going to add in 70 cm, just so that when they come up, 5, I can quickly see. And that is also 123. 23. Now that's interesting. 442. That should be a negative. All right. And I'm going to put in there where the show is actually at. Get also this one 2 meter. And of course, it would be 123, right? 123. 443. And it is a negative. You don't have to put the comments in, but just, you know, it might end up being almost the same as what's going in the name. And the name is the field that you can turn on the settings to have the name show instead of the frequency show. And I think I'm going to put it in the bottom one that's linked to their 6 meter. I don't know where Fairborn is off the top of my head in relevance to where we're going to be, but I'd rather have it there and not be able to receive anything on it than find out that's where I'm missing something. In this, we're going to call Fairborn 6 meter. And it's going to be tone squelch. And the tone is PL code 131.8. Not 5 meter, 6 meter. All right, so why did I leave these other ones blank? Actually, move that down. So, leave that 4. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to go 5. We're going to put in the national weather 62, 475. Name X. No tone needed. It's more just for receive. Don't need more. So I'm going to switch my power over to low. Not that I'm ever going to transmit on it. But just so we're covered in case any emergencies come up, I'm sure it'd be blasting horns and everything else. So throw that in there. I guess I could always put in the turn on the weather mode on the radio too. But all right, so we also need one other piece of information, and just so you have them, show you that they exist. All right. You should know them because they were questions on tests that you possibly could have had to study for. All right. So we need 146 K5-2 for our 2 meter. That's the only one they covered there. I was trying to get you a full list so that you had. Let's go to the league and get information we need. There we go. They have it for all the bands. All right, so we're going to plug in our 2 meter, our 1.25, and our 70 centimeter calling frequencies. So 146, 2, 146, 2, 2 meter. And let's look at 2.5. You're not going to do CW. Oh, they don't have a set calling frequency. I'm not on 1.25 that often, so. Oh, FM simplex. That's a whole band of frequencies. 70 centimeter. 43210. All right, looks like that's all I'm going to add in for now. 6. I don't need an offset. It's requiring. All right, so we got those in there. The only thing that will be missing, and that'll come out later this week, is Ham Radio 2.0 does his information about some of the meetups of the YouTubers and other information. He'll have some additional frequencies that are being used. And I'll plug those into the radio Sunday night when, or probably Monday after he has his live stream on Sunday and lays out the plan for everybody. So, but that's it. So the only thing left to do is to now send what we just put in here over to the radio. So first thing I want to do is I want to take and I want to save this as documents, radio, create a new folder, K5-Plus. Call it invention. Oh, so now I have it. Let me just take a quick look at all the settings real quick, make sure there's nothing I want to change. I'm going to change this to name. Name. All right, so let me do another save. Close our repeater book, close our query results from radio reference. So now we're going to go up to the radio tab, our radio menu option again, and we're going to say upload to radio this time. And as you can see, it's going to prompt us again for our serial port, which is COM3. And it'll give us these instructions. And if you don't want to get these instructions every single time, you can just check this box and it'll never show you again anytime you use the K5-Plus. Plug in a different radio, it's probably going to prompt you again. So We're going to turn off our radio. Oh, wait, our radio was still on. Doesn't make a difference. Nothing was being sent or received, so it's interface cable's already plugged in. It's radio back on, and then we're going to do the upload, which is the clicking the OK button. We're going to see this graph behind us start showing that it's transmitting data, and then I'll show you the radio screen as well. So as you can see, we got a green light this time, and the graphics on there, and it's cloning and sending all that data there. Ooh, done. Rebooting. Now we're in frequency mode. So let's unplug our programming cable, close this up. We're going to turn the radio off. We're going to turn the radio back on.
Welcome. Frequency mode.
And we want to change our mode.
Channel mode.
Ooh, interesting. So this one allows you to split your VFOs, frequency mode or channel mode. Where all the other ones, it changed both your VFOs. So nice, nice. So I have not had much time to play with this radio. I want to get outside. It's been raining. It's been nasty. And the days that it's been nice, I haven't had a chance to get out and play. So my screen went blank. So I'm gonna have to look at the. So there's our 70 centimeter calling. 70 centimeter simplex. Our weather. There's the 2 meter repeater that we put in that's local to me. So as you can see, it's got our name on there versus the frequency showing below. So I'm just going to key this up real quick and test it to see if we get the repeater to respond back to us. I got a green light. Let's do it one more time, but I didn't hear the squelch tail come back. I think it might. K2DFQ testing. All right. And let's just double check.
Frequency mode. Channel mode.
Scroll down through.
5, 3, 5, 7, 10.
There's the hand
11,
nudging.
12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 1.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. They're all in there. That's it. That's how simple it was to program the Baofeng K5-Plus using Chirp. So again, like I said before, it's a $30 radio. I don't want to hear any excuses from people that this hobby's too expensive. 30 bucks, come on. Thank you again, Radioddity, for sending this radio out to us to test and have fun. You know, it's always good to play with new gear. And hey, you never know what else they're going to send, right? All right, that's it for me today. It's time I got to get out of this sandbox. I can't play anymore. Got to go to work, make some money. If you found value in this video, please, I'd love it if you'd hit that like button. If you love this content that we're putting out, subscribe to the channel. That way you get notified when we put out more content. And if you know somebody that this could be useful to them for programming the K5-Plus or any other radio via Chirp, share it. Need more information? Throw a comment down in there. All right. Hopefully you found this video entertaining, interesting, and helpful.